Hey guys, welcome back to another video. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Make sure you give this video a like and leave some feedback in the comments section. Your thoughts, your feelings on what I'm going to talk about. But before I get into the video, I just want to discuss again, we have officially launched our gymnastics tailored programmers. They're not generic programs. This is online coaching only tailored programs. We give you all the information that you need. We give you all the encouragement, support, understanding. If calls are needed, we're there for regular meetings. We can arrange calls to sort of go through and discuss any issues, any problems. We run our programs 5 times a week. A lot of the other coaches will only run one skill 3 times per week. We are trying to run our programs multiple times per week, doing multiple skills, focus on multiple skills. So we are quite an intense tailored program in terms of strictly focusing on as much as we can get done in the week, and that's not volume. A lot of it is skill based. Our separate conditioning program is a little bit cheaper, but again, that's just purely based on volume. There's no skill work, there's no practice work on individual skills. They are 3 separate programs. So if you head over to our Instagram and you give us a DM, I can go through the different coaching subscriptions that we've got, depending on where you're at in your CrossFit journey, depending on where your experiences and where you need to be going. We can help you out with that for sure. So yeah, head over to Instagram. There are links on the YouTube page. If you go onto our channel, there is the Linktree page to all our different social media and contact information. So guys, gymnastics is not getting any easier. Adrian Bosman has increased the difficulty after the 2022 season. This is not just beginners, intermediates. I'm talking to the elite athletes too. I've spoken in a previous video about even the top athletes complaining about the new gymnastics movements, but that's a whole different video. So yeah, head over to Instagram, give us a DM, and we'll discuss what is best suited for you and where you are. So in this video, I want to discuss social media. So funny enough, obviously I'm using social media now. You're watching the video through social media, but I just want to talk about athletes that have come to me in the past and sometimes continue to do so now, even after giving them advice on this. And I'm going to give you guys the advice that I give them, and that is, social media is not the be all and end all when it comes to trying to achieve whatever goal it is, whatever skill it is you're trying to do. Now I'm talking specifically to gymnastics. This can relay over to different industries, different skills. I'm sure this has come up 1,000 times, but this is what I want to cover because it's quite a common error that people get caught up in, because obviously information is shared so quickly today that as soon as it takes off and it becomes obviously viral as we know it, then people start copying it and believing in the process. So when it comes to gymnastics, there's a lot of videos that I've seen where it will suit some and it won't suit others. There are other contingencies, there are other issues that us coaches have to consider when it comes to individual athletes. So every individual athlete is different when it comes to whichever gymnastic skill that you want to cover or talk about. Some are super strong, but they don't have the mobility. Some are super mobile, but they don't have the strength. Some have high skill acquisition, but they don't have the volume, and they can't carry over the strength, and they lose the quality of the skill, even though they're able to do the skill, especially in the early phases of say muscle ups, where you get your first muscle up, and then when it comes to doing the second one, go away athletes go away a little bit frustrated. Well, I've done the first one, the second one's not coming, and it's been months now that I've not been able to achieve, say, 2 straight muscle-ups in a row. And what will typically happen is they'll go away, they'll go on Instagram, they'll go on TikTok, they'll look at what is sort of trending in the gymnastics specifically on this topic. They'll go away, they'll copy what they think works and is 100% guaranteed to work, and then they'll come to me and say, Craig, I've been following such and such, they said to do this and it's not working, and I've been doing it a while, on top of already waiting a month or so to achieve whatever goal it might be. Sticking with muscle up, a second muscle up, straight muscle up. So it's a gift and a curse, really. There's a bit of a show and glow, glitz and glam. You have to consider that social media is being used as a selling point. It's being used as a way to sort of bring something new out so that the page can be boosted and more can follow, because if it works for the majority, then it works for all, which is not the case. And I can't stress that enough. Just because it works for one person doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Just because it works for the majority doesn't mean it's going to work for you. Like I said at the start of the video, we all have different technical issues, whether it be strength, mobility, skill acquisition in itself, if it comes to workouts and metcons. So the point I'm trying to stress is, don't get caught up in social media. Don't get caught up in, this is definitely going to work, this is going to be the one, this is going to be the one progression that I need to work. A lot of what I tend to see at the minute is, and I've done a video on this previously, is using resistance bands. I am not a fan of resistance bands, and I've stressed many times that resistance bands are great for simulation. So if you're unable to do a particular skill, so say we're sticking with the strict muscle ups on rings, if you're unable to do one muscle up at all and you want to feel what it's like to go through a full movement of that skill, then yeah, work the bands, use the bands, that's absolutely fine. But as individual athletes, certainly beginners, some intermediates, I don't really expect elites when it comes to muscle ups. A lot of elites have their strict muscle ups and their kickman muscle ups, but certainly beginners, I don't want you to think that if I stick to using bands for weeks and months on end that it'll eventually come. And people will say in the comments, "Oh, but Craig, I use bands and I eventually got my muscle up, or whichever skill it might be, your first pull up, which is fine. But you might have improved your strength alongside from doing your metcons, your class workouts, from doing extra accessories without you really noticing it, and you've put it down to using resistance bands, and then before you know it, it becomes a sort of viral thing over the internet and over social media. So on the flip side of that, I have had testimony in real world through the fact that people have come to me and said, I agree with you, Craig, it's not the bands that works, it's doing all the other accessories, all the other movements, and working certainly those other two aspects, whether it be strength or mobility, and then over time it's using all the progressions without the bands. So there's another example there. So yeah, just to wrap this up, don't get too caught up in progressions on social media. I've seen this in the artistic world. Coaches will go away. Obviously there's thousands of skills in the artistic gymnastics world, where if it's new, it's got to be done, and it's fancy, and it's because it's fancy, that's going to work for them. No, everyone's different. Every individual's different. So you need to come and speak to coaches that are experienced like myself, and it might be a case of you have to go backwards before you go forwards, which psychologically is not great for athletes. But we always talk about leaving the ego at the door when it comes to CrossFit. So leaving the ego aside, you might have to take a step backwards in order to go 2 steps forwards. And don't just think this is the one, because it's not necessarily going to be that way. Okay, so I can't stress that enough. Social media can be a gift and a curse, but just be careful when it comes to certain progressions. And yeah, that's all I want to talk about. If you can, give this video a share, give this video a like, and leave a comment below. I want to see what your guys' thoughts and feelings are. Do you think social media is a great tool when it comes to learning whatever goal it might be, or is it a bit of a curse in terms of, have you gone through what I've said before, where you've followed such and such and it's just not worked at all? It's something that has been a sticking point for a long time. That's all I want to say. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye for now. Peace.